Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody join in here. 1 second, please. Da 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 da. I'm loving it. All right, let me get this. Let me get this message out here. Went back to Bloomberg market. I know exactly. So one of our members went back and then came back, and somebody broke the market today. That's pretty hilarious. So good stuff there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's take a look here. There. Made a guest appearance, but out of nowhere. I know exactly. Too funny. What a day today, guys. Very very interesting stuff. So anyway, guys, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is we're live here for the lunchtime market update today. If you're joining us in the chat, definitely check it out. Feel free to put some chart requests in there. I'll try to get through as many as I can. I really just want to give everybody kind of an overview of the market here live, what's going on today, stuff that we looked at on the live stream this morning, and then stuff that changed throughout the day, and maybe a perspective going into the rest of the afternoon. So cool stuff there. Everything we're going to talk about, of course, is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. Oh, I was trying to look at the time on that one. Yeah, guys, really, really great stuff today. Very, very interesting market today. And again, like I said, everything's for education purposes only, not investment advice. Let's take a look at the SPX. Let's get started. So SPX, guys, down 17 points here today, right? So very interesting stuff, right? We're down 6 points on Friday, down 17 points here today, and we got basically what I titled this one. The V reversal, right? The reversal off of the oops, let me change. See if I can change the settings here. Give me 1 second. For the S&P 500, right? So pretty wild stuff. Um, Yeah, you can get an inverse V reversal today. So pretty cool stuff. We'll dig into it here in a little bit. Still on the monthly chart, everything generally still bullish, right? We had a green month last month, which took out the bearish engulfing candle. Follow through this month, so everything's still generally green, and leaning bullish, right? But we're just not getting that follow through price action, at least to hold. But it is possible that this is just a retrace, right? Because this is a very very strong move this morning. I got back to the upper Bollinger Band here, obviously overbought here on the RSI. But I mean, it was really just an epic morning this morning. So what happened? Why did we break the trend box? And we do have a fresh high. So we can, guys, while we're here live, we can actually take out the trend box. And we got a fresh high, fresh trend line. So pretty cool stuff there. And it's actually a fresh high, fresh bump line here. So this bump line is back. Right, so the trend line stays the same because it never got taken out. But there's your bump line right there. It's still bullish. Amazing. And this one here. Let's take a look. Right there. Beautiful. Okay, so holding the 80 May, still green day, but we have to see what's in store, right? So definitely a bit of a composure change here today. Not surprised to see a little bit of a retrace going on here, but let's take a look and see exactly what happened here on our Elliott wave count. So again, we basically what we're looking at right here is we had this last impulsive wave up. We talked about this one last night. And we had this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clear 5 wave move, and then an ABC down right here, and then this huge extended move right here. It looked like a 1, 2, and then once we saw this here today, this is pretty significant, right? So that gap up and the push, right? That's a very very impulsive move. But we also got a very sharp decline move here too, almost as quickly as it came in. It ended up fading the gap right here and bouncing right off of the gap, and a couple key levels that we use in our group. And you can see here, off of, let's just say this is the wave 2 bottom right here. You've got this really deep retrace on that sharp move down. So again, not the type of bullish price action I'd like to see here at all-time highs. This morning it was great, right? We just kind of gapped and just kept on going. But of course we were very cautious about the whole thing, and we were looking for a sensible retrace on it, and we just did not get one here today. And I mean, unless you consider this crazy dip buy right off of the 886 as a move, and it is possible, right? Obviously that worked. And so, but we're gonna see what's in store here, because this could be like a 1, 2, 1, 2. And if that's the case, because this definitely is looking, there could be a subwave 1 in here. So let's go this. Possibly part of a larger 3. But let's take this here. This. This. this here. So it's possible that this is a 1-2-1-2, right? Which means that, if this thing really does rally, then it should be, super duper impulsive to the upside, but it just doesn't feel that way, right? I mean, one thing that it could have been here, guys, instead of this being wave 4, this could be 1, 2, this could have been wave 3. This whole thing was a wave 4, and this is wave 5 triangle, and we're actually working on a larger corrective move. So it's a little bit tricky up here, but we're just going to kind of go with the bull count right now until we get a little bit more clarity going into the afternoon, right? So and into the rest of the day. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, guys, let's continue to kind of grind in here and just see what we got happening. So SPX we looked at here. If we go to the SPY. Let's see what kind of volume we have coming in here today. SPY's looking actually pretty interesting. So a little bit, like we said, a little bit of a retrace right here now, but I'm actually suspicious on this this retrace. I think it would actually be could be potentially bearish. We are generally holding our gamma flip level from this morning, the 469, and the volume is actually starting to creep up pretty decently here for the fresh OPEX day. I guess folks were loading in here, and what happened? What was the big thing that happened this morning, right? It was the JPOW news, right? So that was really the big thing, right? We weren't expecting any economic activity, any major economic announcements here today, but you could see just pre-market how strong this move was, right? And this geometric line has actually been holding up incredibly well recently, right? We had a huge bounce off of this from the other day. We had a huge bounce off of this on Friday, and just continues to hold up. And still holding up here today and pre-market, right? So this has been good. We've held here, and this is a little bit, a couple undershots, but it was, running out of steam, and they got some big volume coming in there too for the nice bounce. And so ultimately, right, we have this the announcement this morning. We were just kind of drifting down early, and then we had the announcement that the White House is going to reappoint JPOW back to the Fed, right? And that got things going really, really, up. Because and why is that? And the reason is because, well, it was kind of more of the same. What has JPOW been doing ever since it's been in? Buying the dip, right? Basically supporting the market. And so instead of changing things up, they're basically saying like, hey, let's keep going with it, that type of thing. So was there any news that really so this is basically a V reversal. This is like the first time we've really seen a reversal back down. And I told our folks in a group this morning, I said, be careful here with this thing going up, because we were just, there was no pullbacks at all, right? And so we got to a major level up here on the SPX. It was the 4735s, the 4735s, we can see right here, the 473.5s basically. So 4730s, I said, watch out, look for a candle setup. And you got this nice, these nice upper shadows up here off this level, and then we started to break down pretty nicely here this afternoon. So it ended up giving some good opportunities there on the short side here today. Of course, there were plenty of opportunities at the on the bullish side as the market was going strong, but there's also some divergences there too with Amazon, right, and Boeing all kind of working their way down. And Boeing, not necessarily, one of the heaviest weighted here, or not even necessarily. But Amazon, very, very interesting, right? So highly weighted right there as that worked its way down. We'll take a look at Amazon here in a little bit too. But this is a pretty intense reversal, right? Normally, if I show you guys here inverse SPY, if I do inverse SPY minus SPY, right? One of the things that you'll see here is that this is what we're used to seeing, right? A drop at the open and then the V reversal. So normally we don't get an inverse reversal on the S&P. Normally it doesn't shoot its way up and then just completely reverse. We see it maybe once every couple months where this happens, right? So it's definitely something to keep an eye on here going into the afternoon. But does that mean it's going to reverse all the way back up again? I mean, it bounced off of the level here pretty nicely, but here on the 15-minute chart, we're still holding the ADMA. So it may actually work its way down here in the afternoon. I'll look to take another position on this thing on the short side, or add to a position on the short side if we start to cross over a little bit lower here, or if we move up a little bit and then cross back down. If we get over the ADMA and cross back down, we'll look to add a short position here too. So pretty cool stuff there. Basically, that's really the main thing that we've been tracking right here. So let me show you here on the S&P futures. So S&P futures, obviously same thing here, very, very similar price action, but really it was all about our levels today, right? We had a couple signal zones, a couple resistance zones here this morning that served nicely pre-market. Once the JPOW news came out, right, things started to look bullish, and then once we got and consolidated, we closed above these levels right here, things really started to move to the upside. But the sharp down move on this one was really the kind of the interesting kicker on that one. So give me a second right here. There was some news that kind of came out while this market was dropping here. After 10, let me check our news channel on the Discord right here. Earlier rising, U.S. supposed to release oil reserves. Yeah, it was kind of like the oil reserves from other nation, from reserve with other nations. Uh, Original license Weiss says we don't have a great visibility on bookings. Okay, there you go. Okay, well, it's the conflict right here with the Senate, really, and saying that, hey, Powell's not right, they're not the right pick. And then you got Erdogan saying there's not only one method to fight inflation. So Disney, kind of odd that they're getting into gambling and stuff like that. So a couple weird news out there, but just a sharp drop on that one. So it just shows that this market is really in a weird place right now, right, at these all-time highs. And a lot of folks have been pointing this out, that we've been seeing the market go up and the VIX go up. And of course, this happens a lot when we're at all-time highs. We'll take a look at here in the VIX again. But why is that? Because the market's afraid of a blow-off top. And right, so what's the big thing that we see, right? What is the VIX mostly composed of? Right, the VIX is, composed of, one calculation of it is the out-of-the-money puts, right, or the out-of-money options on the SPX, which means that as we get to higher to all-time highs, right, they start loading up on those puts, and that really gives the VIX a pretty big boost, right? And so, so pretty interesting stuff there. Let's take a look at the MES and just see how this geometric line is looking here going into the afternoon. So we got this. You kind of really just need to kind of grab this right here, and we started to turn, and then put this geometric line in here and see how that holds, right? So that's going to be an important one here to see if they really want to break out. We do see a little bit of a harmonic pattern right here. The quick drop, retrace about a 382, about an 886 retrace, and then back up again. So again, that could be a pretty decent move here so far. But see how it goes here if it can get back to this geometric line. If not, we're going to look for some more bearish potential price action on this name, or just more chop going into the afternoon. So, so that's kind of one of the big ones there. Let's take a look at the Qs and see how that's behaving here. Q's got clobbered here today too. Again, a much bigger down move than the S&P. And one of the things that we cautioned about in the bubble report this morning was basically the steepness of the geometric line here today. I know you can't really see it at this angle, but if you kind of stretch it out a little bit, you can see how steep, where it came from, how steep this line was. And so once we lost this geometric line here this morning, that was a key level breakdown right here, and it got all the way down to our gamma flip level before bouncing, right, doing this little harmonic move. So. So pretty cool stuff there. Let's take a look at, everybody's been looking at this name, guys. This has been like one of the big FinTwit charts that everybody's been putting out there. It's like the IWM. It's either a fake out breakout, right, or a retest, right, or a failed breakout or a retest. And right now, we're basically, a lot of folks have horizontal lines on this one. I like the angled line right here. We seem to be holding it right now so far. It gave us a couple bounces here today, but you can see here. Another sharp retrace, and once we lost that geometric line, another sharp pullback right here. And this one's actually negative gamma territory right now, so we want to see how that holds going into the rest of the day. Other than that, let's take a look at the XLF and see how that's behaving here. The XLF, the banks are actually hanging in here pretty well today. They were one of the strongest sectors. There was a little bit of a dip buy involved on them here this morning, but one of the strongest sectors here today. And what I really liked is the undershoot here of the potential bull flag. Right, we ended up filling the gap right here, and we got back above it here today. So it does seem to be rallying right here, and there may be room over the next couple days for the XLF to get up to this 40 level. So I think that's definitely another one to kind of keep an eye on here too. Keep an eye on the banks. And those are kind of some of the big ones right there that we've been tracking. So we'll take a look at the VIX here in a second. I want to cover a couple other names here too. Give me a second. Yeah, this, definitely this. That looks good. And what else is moving here? Take a look at this. And Softy was a good one. And we'll look at Tesla here in a second. But those are kind of some of the major ones right here. We'll take a look at Amazon and all that. So let's take a look at the VIX. Putting on the VIX. And just see how it kind of perked up here today. One of the things that kind of concerns us is the VIX essentially pre-market was inside day. And but it was hanging in there, right? Despite the market being up as high as it was, one of the things that we did notice this morning was the how the VIX basically was up here too, right? And so you can actually see essentially a harmonic pattern here going from yesterday. Look at this. However you want to slice and dice it, right? That type of thing. So all the way back up to our prior zone, our important VIX zone, right? So it's a little bit of a harmonic pattern in there for the VIX, but definitely got excited into the that last drop that we saw. So we'll see how that goes here going into the afternoon as well. Let's take a look. Couple names. So Apple, this is a big one. I just tweeted out our live stream this morning on Apple. We get pretty busy at the open. There's a lot of names moving. There's a bunch of stuff on our watch list. But we just stay as focused as we can. And Apple had really the strongest one here, the strongest move this morning. Broke out of the pre-market levels. In fact, we were looking at trying to get in earlier. It was just moving so fast. It's like you're gonna scramble for it. Then it's like, okay, see if we can get in. Nice little retrace right here. This thing really kept moving. Right. This is a really, really beautiful trade today, and honestly, easy to trail for the majority of the way up. And you could really ride it either to here or to here. And at this point now, it's just kind of in the chop zone, right? So, but Apple was an epic trade this morning. The 165 calls were super duper hot, and look exactly where we got to. 165, right? So in the money on those, and a beautiful trade here going into today. We'll also take a look at Amazon, which is a swing idea that we had as a short idea. I wasn't expecting to make as much of a move as it did today, but we'll take it, on that. But let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla's another strong one here today too. At the open, it gave us a quick entry on this one. The 1200s were really hot. We were targeting the open gap, and primarily just at 1200 because it was so hot. And then we finally broke out of here. Was hoping we get a little bit of strength. We saw a lot of upper shadows off here, so great place to take profit after getting an early entry on this one for a nice move on Tesla. And this one came down here with the rest of the market as well. So nice one there. A couple other names I want to cover, guys, and we won't be here too long today. I've got a couple things to do. Got to run back out to the dentist and all that happy fun stuff, and so we'll get through it though. But one of the big things I want to point out here on Roku is to see kind of how its gamma's moving here after OPEX, and it's really not that good, right? We actually pointed out a short opportunity on Roku this morning as well. Lots of surprisingly decent action this morning on a bunch of different names. This thing is just so bearish right here. Still red here on the candle chart. I was hoping to see like a nice strong green candle day. Obviously, we still have time left in the day, but it did give us a good short opportunity at the open once we started to break down. Right, you can see right here we had a nice right here, and it just kept going. Right, so it just got tight and then got tight one more time, and then pushed its way down very, very nicely. And so we can see here it might be working on an inverse head and shoulders. We'll have to see how that goes going into the rest of the afternoon. Zoom, guys, coming up tonight. Earnings tonight. So definitely keep an eye out on this one. See how it holds. We've been waiting for this one to try to give us some sort of clues after option expiration, and we just haven't seen any positive moves. A little bit of a move here, and then just back down again here. So far red on the day before earnings, and it's hard to tell what. Obviously, always hard to tell with earnings, but it's hard to tell what type of move it would want to do. Now a gap up over earnings that was strong and gave us maybe like a push over this level right here, right over the 292 area. Right, could give us a run up to the 300 area on Zoom. So we definitely want to keep an eye on that one going into tonight. Nvidia. Again, another push to all-time highs today, but kind of turned into a red spinning top here so far. This one gave a huge reversal this afternoon. We like the geometric breakout this morning to give us a nice move, but this is, guys, I'm telling you, this is one of the big reasons to raise stops, especially if you're day trading, right? Just sitting back and letting things just kind of go, it just doesn't work in this market, right? So it just it's very, very tough to work in this market, very rare, right? So definitely keep that as a caution going forward. Another name here, let's take a look at AMD. AMD with a sharp drop here as well. Again, gave us a nice boost at the open, but again, the whole market was fairly exuberant going into today. So we had that going on. Another big one, guys. This was a big swing idea that we put out on Friday in our group. It was just amazing follow through. We talked about it last night on the live stream, but the big move on this one here on the daily chart was a move up to our harmonic level, and just that resistance up here, that shooting star candle right before all-time highs, and then a pullback right to the 80 MA. Perfect move. We were hoping we'd get a little bit lower in this one, but we did get in the money with the 3600 spreads and the 3650 spreads, which we pointed out on Friday, both for more than a double, and it really doesn't get much nicer than that, right? So a good move there on Amazonius. And then a couple other names too that we saw some continued weakness here on Boeing today. This was very interesting, right? One quick overshoot here of the channel and then back into range. So this is Just a nasty move at the open, guys. But this was on our cloudburst radar this morning. It's a technique that we use in our group at the open, and it flushed right immediately off of that move and ended up getting a little bit of follow through here to the downside. So that was a good one there. I think SPCE made the news a little bit today, if I just heard that correctly. That don't have a lot of bookings. Yeah, Virgin Galactic to SpaceX. Not exactly sure what that was. Let me see. Let me double check my news here. My news feed. Virgin Atlantic. Okay, yeah, I was thinking of Virgin Galactic. Yeah, so Virgin Atlantic doesn't have great visibility on bookings. So it's a little bit different on that one here too. But so don't really need to necessarily really go over this chart. But a lot of folks like space, so it's okay to look at it here. Again, struggling, right? So it's back to basically the prior supportish area. So kind of a congestion zone down there. So see how that holds. And then let's take a look at one more. Let's take a look at Mr. Softy. So Microsoft, and we'll see how that's behaving here today, guys. This is one of the strongest names at the open today, but look at this, turning into a big shooting star candle as well. I don't have any projected harmonic moves on this one, but that is a nasty candle off of that one. Bearish engulfing too right now. So if it closes like this with increased volume, Microsoft's probably gonna be on the short radar, right? So I definitely think that's one to keep an eye on here too. So. Other than that, guys, those are the main ones that are on our watch list. Kind of going into this afternoon. Pretty cool stuff. We pointed out some great trades today in the group, from Apple on the long side to Roku on the short side, Amazon with a swing on the short side. So if you guys aren't in the Discord, definitely check that out. Links will be in the description. And I hope everybody has an awesome afternoon. And we'll see you guys at the Market Wrap on YouTube. And until then, guys, stay healthy out there and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game.